everyone to our episode 37 of Drops of Wisdom. In today's Wednesday, we are going to discuss the book Loving What Is by Byron Katie. And we are going to talk about the thoughts and how you are not supposed to let your thoughts control your life. Because if you let any kind of thought to control how you feel, how you react, and what you do in your life, chances are you are going to create a negative spiral in your life with those anxious thoughts and with any kind of worry that you can have. The moment you believe that every single thought that you have is truth is the minute you will start a cascade of stress hormones to flow in your system, create more loops of toxic thought and being anchored to feel sad, then anxious, and then, of course, depressed. Realize that everything starts with one thought that you expanded into a negative spiral of feeling depressed or anxious or just chronically sad. You are in a long, let's suppose, and let's imagine an hypothetical situation where you are in a long term relationship where you have been happy for years, but yet recently you have started to suspect that your partner doesn't love you anymore. In this hypothetical situation, your stress grows as you try to find ways to make your partner love you again, which is impossible. That is not true because we can't control what other people feel. So you have to live with your stress and sadness. Is that right? You are wrong then, because you are attaching your identity to the thought. Stress isn't caused by events or people in your life, but by your interpretation of events or the actions of friends and lovers. So it's not your partner assume lack of love that is hurting you. It's your interpretation of your partner's feelings. You have essentially read your partner's behavior to mean that she doesn't love you anymore. If she forgets to kiss you goodbye, you automatically think she doesn't care for me. How can you overcome this situation? Well, stress originates from your thoughts. So you need to change your thoughts. And this is where the work, which is what Byron Katie proposes, comes in. Start by writing down the thoughts that are troubling you. In our hypothetical case, you would write, my relationship is failing apart or is falling apart because my partner doesn't love me anymore. So, next, analyze your written thoughts by asking yourself four simple questions. Is this thought true? Re-examine your partner's actions to make sure you aren't being too rash. Can I be absolutely sure that it is true? Consider if there is any other interpretation for your partner's behavior. How does this thought make you react? Sometimes when we are anxious, we just make ourselves more stressed. You might be fishing for evidence that your partner doesn't love you because deep down you are becoming paranoid. So you are just looking for things to blame. Without this thought, who would you be? That's the third question. In this case, you would be happier and enjoying your relationship more because you would be more focused on what you can do better than on finding ways of proving that someone doesn't love you. The answer to these four questions will give you a deeper understanding of your negative thoughts so you can move on to making yourself feel better. And remember, always when we perform these journaling exercises, we detach the meaning when we are writing the things down. So after you have answered the work's 4 questions, you should have a better understanding of the thoughts that you are bringing you down and making you feel stressed. Now it's time for the turnaround. You are going to change now the situations. You are going to get into the transformation. The turnaround is the last step of the work. It's where you focus on turning your thoughts around to discover deeper truths about yourself, your feelings, and your situation. So if your thoughts lead you to feel that your partner doesn't love you and that you are losing your relationship, turn those thoughts around and see what happens. Try approaching your problem from a different angle. Maybe your partner really does love you and you have been walking down the wrong path. Next, approach this new thought with the same 4 questions from the work. So now you are going to make you really feel in the shoes of the other person. With that, you will gain a new insight into your dilemma when you closely examine the inverse of the original thoughts. And don't stop there. Keep finding answers. Consider all possibilities and turn them all around. Then see how these different scenarios make you feel. For example, is it possible that it's actually you who doesn't love your partner anymore and this is the source of coldness between the two of you? Or are you actually just having a hard time loving yourself? Are you sad about another problem your life is projecting that onto your partner? So you have other situations in your life. You are having other problems. And probably that stress and that anxiety, you are projecting it down into your partner. You will have a different feeling and reactions to all of these possibilities. Now carefully consider all of them. So which thought or feeling should you follow in the end? There isn't a strict rule. There is freedom to choose. Follow the thoughts that are right for you. Follow what feels true for you. So we can summarize all this exercise with 4 questions of work just by following this quote. The key to achieving happiness isn't changing reality, but finding your true place in the realities you can change. We can't change what is happening outside of us, let alone what happens in the mind of other person and the behaviors and the emotional story. We can't change that. But what we can do is how we behave under the reality that we are living and how can we approach with a different kind of behavior the new reality that we want to live in. Those are the reflections, those are the questions that you can practice. Do the exercise, write down the questions, really do this work with any kind of worry, any kind of thought that you are recycling in your mind, and let me know in your comments what happened. And let me know how or what kind of answers did you find. That would be completely interesting for me. And of course, try to react, try to give a comment. Let me know if you want me to approach any kind of topic under the 5 pillars of health, and I will search for the best information for you. And remember, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and Fridays I release the complete episodes, the long episodes, where I speak about science and wellness under the 5 pillars of health. This Friday I'm going to speak about brain flow, how to enter that magical, mystical zone of flowing, and what are the keystones to enter into that state, what regions of the brain are being primed, and what can you do to feel much better under the effect of being in flow. So don't lose in other distractions your time, and stay tuned for Friday episode. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a wonderful Wednesday afternoon, and we will listen to each other next Friday in the recorded episode and on next Wednesday live. Bye. Thank you.